Welcome back to Women Who Write podcast with Gila and Radhaa. We're so excited to be here. And we have been feeling this calling to open up a second session for both men and women to write sensual poetry. And I feel like this calling has come from like deep within us. And also men have reached out to us because we are stepping into a new era where we are both we're aligning to fully embrace union within ourselves and with others. And we both felt like it's really important to do this with, regardless of gender. Would you say that's true, Radha?
Yes, yes. I feel like a lot of times in the courses I do, like in my academy, and then sometimes our writing courses, we often focus on women. And in our first course, poetry course we're doing together, that's all about women. But we also wanted to open it up to men. And so we wanted to have a co-ed space that is just as a safe space as our one for women. And we want to allow men to start expressing themselves, because if we really, really want to heal in the world, we can't be so divided. In the sense, we have to let men come into their truth, into their voice, and not the voice that they were trained to use in the world, but the voice of their soul, of their heart, of their longing, of their desire. And so I really think this is an important part in healing humanity. Is, it's important that we do gather in our sacred groups, and then once we get to a certain place, we feel safe enough to now gather in other safe places where we can be vulnerable together and allow us to actually bring more healing to all of us in this process.
Yeah, I love that. I was just thinking about, we used to talk about, I know when I was coaching, regularly, it was still, I felt like a patriarchal world. And I think we're still in that, but there is this big shift. It's
Mm-hmm.
no longer the matriarchy or the patriarchy. It's something new, this like new consciousness. And I feel like this is a big step in really embracing the sensitivity, the emotions, the empathy that we all have. And to divide by gender, I feel like we're still persisting that division. And
Mm-hmm.
by opening it up to, to both men and women, we're really opening, like you said, our souls, our hearts to go deeper into connection with ourselves, with others, and current or future relationships.
Absolutely. I think there's something beautiful about hearing, you know, the opposite sex, their voice, their truth in a way where we're not coming in with our defenses up. We're not coming in with any judgments. We're not coming in with preconceived notions. We know that this is actually a space. It's it's a space where we can play. It's a space where we can explore. And in that exploration, we can also learn more about each other just organically, because when we listen with ears that don't have prejudice, and we can just listen to another person's poem and that what they're conveying through that, the voice, the longing, the desire, therein is actually an educational opportunity where we can understand each other in a way that we may have not been able or open to listen before. So I find that very exciting that, we can soften and drop in. And I feel that this world has set up men and women to be combative, to be competitive, um, and to, in some ways, I hate to say hate, but to hate each other. And that's a real problem, the war between men and women. And It's a very subtle, but if you really look deeper, you'll see how languaging society has kind of created this paradigm. And by putting people in boxes too, a woman is for this, a man is for this. And so we're just taking off the boxes, we're unpacking it all in this group. And it's going to be very therapeutic. And the cool part is we get time to sit with a theme, because we're meeting every other week. So we actually get time to immerse into a very particular theme for that period. And then we have our group where throughout the time in between, we are now interacting with each other in this space. So people might be inspired to write 10 poems on one theme, you know, and you can share that in the group and get feedback and encouragement. So this is really fostering a sense of camaraderie and community.
Yeah, yeah, I love that, and I feel like this is because we're meeting bi-weekly and we have 8 sessions and we go deeper and deeper, and and we will be sharing some information about our sessions soon, that encompasses this program. But I feel like, we're going deeper into the heart and the sacral chakra, and it's not, you know, there are different ways people express themselves, but when we create this open forum with people of different genders, then we are opening it up into something that's very rich, and
Mm-hmm.
it really, it's like peeling the layers. How do we become more sensual with ourselves and with our partners and with others, our friends? It's by just peeling the layers and allowing that raw, authentic, energy to really come forth in all of its beauty.
Mm.
And I feel like this sacred container that we're holding, that we've been called to hold, and for those of you who are hearing that call to join us, this is an opportunity because we are really stepping into a new era. I work in a corporate world, and I feel like even there, I have conversations with people I don't physically meet because many of the workers are like all over the world. But, regardless of if it's a man or a woman, I feel very comfortable, and
Mm-hmm.
I really think this is something new. This
Mm-hmm.
is not, and I've worked in the corporate world for many, many years, and it never used to be like that. And I feel like there's just a general shift. You also see it in the movies. There's a shift of both genders being more sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
more emotional, more deeply involved in conversation.
Mm.
I don't know if you've noticed the trend.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I really feel men are longing to also be fully embodied in
Hmm.
their voice, and to, in some ways, we've made men just one thing, and the truth is men have so much depth inside of them, and I feel it's kind of sad when they don't get a chance to fully explore those depths. They don't get to know the layers and levels within themselves because they've not been encouraged to. As women, we've been fortunate in some ways to, it's understandable that we are very feeling beings.
Hmm.
We have really rich feelings, and that's acceptable. And for men, I think it's been harder to express themselves besides their work, besides their sports, besides their, what the society deems as acceptable. But I believe and I know it to be true that men are very deep and prolific. And so this is an encouragement of that development, and exploration without judgment. And so I would love to see more poetry from men as well. And just like in our poetry book that we just did, it was like mostly women,
Hmm.
So so the women are always showing up, but we're now opening the doors to invite men to show up as well, so that we can have a beautiful, beautiful alchemy of men and women, and in a way begin this divine healing process of just allowing each other to be.
Yes, yes, I totally agree with that. And I think that, the more that we do this kind of work, it allows more of a free-flowing conversation and just really letting go of the layers, as I said
Mhm.
earlier. But I think it's this like this alchemy. We all have these depths that we haven't yet explored, which is what this whole course is about,
Mhm.
moving into the depth. And One second, I'm sorry. I was just distracted. So, but as we move into these depths, we can uncover in groups. Sometimes when we're in nature or we're with, close friends, we feel the intimacy to
Mhm.
open up. And I feel like this group is going to be fostering that, as well as creating these next level relationships, which I think
Yeah.
is why this is so pivotal to at this time. Because we may, and those of you who are listening, you may be in a great long-term relationship, you may be looking for something new, or you may be looking to spice something up, or you want to just really
Mhm.
connect to yourself. And I feel like this is a time when we're embarking on a different journey where we need both genders to create this new map. And
Mm.
I feel like that was part of this call for this 8 week, 8 sessions over a course of a few months, to really get into that depth and to help us define this new template.
Mm. Absolutely. Yeah. So we're actually going to be alchemizing and creating something new just by doing this. And this is a new template, and creating these templates that are encouraging of healthy expression, it really starts to become innovative, because then others will maybe do the same, and maybe we can create more encouragement in our society to start creating more safe and healthy spaces for men and women to be empowered, to be
Right.
creative, to be expressive, to be truthful, to be
Hmm.
self-reflective without the fears of judgment.
Yes, yes, I think that is so true. And I feel like, you know, this is the problem that we've had our whole existence, right? We're still
Mm.
battling that. But in this container, when we can really open ourselves up over a period of months, so we go deeper, we go in and delve, we can begin to see ourselves and the world in a different way. It's
Mhm.
as Radha and I had said to each other, like, this is as much for us as it is for all of you. So we're exploring this completely together,
Mm.
because we're just feeling this immediate urgency that this can't really wait any longer.
Mhm.
This is really the time.
It is a time. When we do these small acts, and they may be small on a scale of things, but I believe that creating this intention, creating this program, creating this opportunity, and bringing in those who are meant to be part of this actually does create ripples into our world. And I really believe that even the small things we do create either positive or negative ripples into the world. And so we want to keep contributing into that positive healing, the healthy. And so for me, I'm very excited about this. And it didn't even come to my mind in the beginning, because we work mostly with a lot of women. Those are the ones that come forward. But after getting a few requests, we were like, hey, wait a minute. I think there's something to this. And then I really felt it in my own heart, how important it is, and and I know you felt the same, that we want this connection because there is something ultimately very healing and alchemizing about this. So we would love for you to join us. And we're going to start October, the end of October, October 26th. Is that correct, Gila?
That's correct, October
Mhm.
26th. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're moving into, it goes up until the beginning of February. So it's a good chunk of time. And as Radha was saying earlier, we meet every other week. So you have some time to contemplate, to, process. I think it's really necessary that we, especially as artists, like you need to detach and reattach. It's just like,
Mhm.
it's this motion that we need that is essential to really open up ourselves to what is trying to come out. So I think we've weaved it well with appropriate resources, and we're going to share some of that with you. Maybe not in this session, but in the coming sessions.
Absolutely. So, well, we just wanted to say thank you so much for listening and tuning in. And if any of this resonated at all with you, we'd love to hear your comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And is there anything else you'd like to share on this, Gila?
No, I'm just really excited, and I'm so glad that we connected today. And we're just really looking forward to creating this very rich atmosphere of beauty, of sensuality, and natural togetherness. A community that's actually going to grow out of this. That's what I feel is coming out.
Hmm. Oh, thank you
Aho.
so much, beautiful souls. Never give up, in your desire to create more beauty in this world, to find deeper expressions of yourself, and to find deeper layers and levels within your own being, because that's where the magic is. So we look forward to hearing from you and having you start to step into the sacred space. Until next time, much love.